Okay. So here we go. Here. All right. Well, welcome to the Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Carlito Santiago, and today we are here to review what went down on Friday Night SmackDown. Shout out to Chris Muller, and of course, if you guys can do me a favor, like always, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, comment down below, and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a stream. Well, after just 6 days removed from Saturday main event, actually now 7, things look a bit different for WWE after the show. Raw has its own men's world champion with CM Punk after he defeated Jey Uso, but Cody still holds on to his belt after defeating Drew McIntyre. So what is next for the American Nightmare? We're going to find out here. And of course, our new women's world champion, Jade Cargill, is going to show up, of course, as it turned out to be a dominant performance against Tiffany Stratton last weekend. And we got a couple of other things to go over. So, how do we do this? Well, we started the show with Cody Rhodes, ladies and gentlemen. After a quick recap of what went down at Saturday Night Main Event 41, Cody Rhodes came out to open the show, looking pumped. He was smiling and shaking hands with everyone, like he always does, and even took a moment to autograph a sign for somebody. The American Nightmare was soon confronted by his former AEW rival, Aleister Black. They didn't beat around the bush and agreed to a singles match later in the show. This was a brief intro segment compared to the average opening promo for a match for a main event star. Rhodes took less than 10 minutes from the moment he appeared until the moment the segment ended. It didn't overstay its welcome and immediately helped set up his next feud. After that, Ilya Dragunov made his way to the ring to put his U.S. title on the line. So great to be. And yeah, I knew this was going to come. Aleister Black was really set up for Cody, but just wait until the ending because I know what the ending has in store. Dragunov defeated Nathan Frazier on Halloween, but the last time we saw Dragunov in singles action, it was on an episode of Main Event, September 26th. It looked like Tommaso Ciampa would be the next challenger, of course, assuming from last week's shenanigans. But it ended up being Johnny Wrestling instead. Of course, the DIY partners distracted the champion, so Johnny Wrestling could take advantage. It took them no time at all to turn this into a competitive match with a brisk pace and some hard-hitting action. Both men were versatile performers who are great at many things in the ring. So they quickly developed chemistry. This was the first time these two have even been seen in the same ring. And I've been in the same ring together. They haven't even been in the same battle royal or multi-man match, so this was a rare treat to see two guys who have built such great reputations having their first encounter. But after putting up a good fight, Gargano fell to the Mad Russian's finisher. This was an outstanding performance and way to get the action started for the show. Putting Dragunov in this position has yielded nothing but positive reviews. He is stealing the show on a weekly basis. So he defeated Gargano. The Constantine special is a cool movie in Dragunov's arsenal. Or move. He said movie. Ciampa also looked angry as he walked away from the ring. Graded A- and probably the best thing on the card. Nia Jax took on Charlotte Flair. See, last time we saw Flair in action was teaming up with her tag team partner against Bayley and Valkyria a couple weeks ago. And then, of course, we saw Jax lose to Bliss on Halloween. So, after the break, Cargill came out, made her SmackDown appearance with the Women's Championship. She was all business, and she marched to the ring without her usual showmanship for the crowd. She literally picked up the mic and said less than 10 words and walked away. She put that roster on notice by saying that she is that bitch. This was a short, sweet, and gets right to the point. I love this shit for WWE. It's right to the point, not beating around no bush. The opening segment was even great. So SmackDown, keep up with those quick, we want to get straight to the point. We want to see some fucking wrestling. We don't want to chit-chat in the ring. This isn't the time to chat. Which has its pluses and minuses. It didn't allow her to show much, but it also made it clear that she didn't need to. And of course, we had a stare down between Flair and of course Charlotte. as they were making their way to the ring. Bliss had to talk to Flair out of going back to fight her on the stage. History between these two women goes back years, including one incident when they were clearly shooting on each other in the ring. But that was the past. This time, they were working together to make this feel like a physical fight without taking it too far. And we're talking about Flair and Nia Jax. There may have been moments when things didn't look perfect, but the physicality they brought made up for it, as Flair seemed to have the upper hand. Shocking to the crowd, we brought Lash Legend to SmackDown. Yep, Lash Legend shocked Bliss by attacking her from the crowd. The distraction allowed Nia Jax to hit Flair with her finisher for the win. And it looks like Jax and Legend may be the new duo on SmackDown, which means we have a new NXT call-up to keep an eye on too. So that's good too. So with the help of Lash Legend, Nia Jax wins, which is good. DIY and Fraxium had a brief interaction, but there was no fight, just some insults. So we're going to get a tag team match somewhere around there next week, probably. The reason Lash Legend got called up here is most likely for the Survivor Series War Games women's match, which will most likely consist of, which will most likely be 5-on-5. It'll probably be the Kabuki Warriors, Nia Jax, Lash Legend, and probably Julia versus Flair and Bliss, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, and most likely Io Sky or Rhea Ripley coming back. One of the two. Unless Bliss is injured. Therefore, then that means that Bliss and Io will come back. So it'll be Flair, Io, Ripley, and Bayley and Lyra Valkyria versus Nia Jax, Lash Legend, Julia, and I'm going to get to that, why Julia will probably be in that spot. And, of course, the Kabuki Warriors. So let me tell you why that is. Because we had this match, and it was for the championship, and this was last night. Of course, we saw the men's U.S. title on the line in the opening bout. The third match saw the women's take center stage as Julia put her U.S. title on the line up against the newly crowned AAA mixed tag team champions, of course, Ethan Page and, of course, Chelsea Green, the Canadians. Chelsea Green. And I saw it to be a little bit weird why they had Chelsea Green and fucking Julia paired up together. I didn't know the title was on the line. It was very thoughtful that they did. Because All Eagle was in the crowd to support his tag team partner, and she took on the Beautiful Madness. At first, it looked like this might be an easy defense for the champion. She came close to winning within the first minutes with a huge knee to the face. However, this went a way few probably expected. Alba Fire ended up taking out Kiana James at ringside, which allowed Green to surprise Julia with a roll-up and have her feet on the rope to get the upset victory and, of course, become the new champion. The match itself was short and had very little to it, but the fact that this was the result was so unexpected, it made it clear and it made it stand out. Julia won't come out of this looking great, but Green, being a double champion in AAA and WWE, will raise her profile even further, which is good. They're holding like a bunch of titles right now, so I mean, like Chelsea Green's holding the mixed tag team champions, the mixed tag, North American, and now the United States, like women's United States, like that's perfect for them. They're double champions, really. This is all going the way that they needed to. Also, Green wearing the gear with Mexico colors was a nice touch to their AAA mixed tag team championships. And Julia will probably be looking to do something else. In the meantime, Julia can look towards having a match in War Games with Io Sky and Rhea Ripley coming back. This is perfect for them. Rey Fenix took on Tala Tonga. Probably disappointing looking at this group right here, fucking with the face. I like the face paint. Don't get me wrong. I like the face paint. But WWE is filing trademark for what is called the tribal here. So this could be Solo's new name. To get because this tribal chief shit's not even, this tribal shit is not over. They're trying to keep Solo busy. And to have all these guys here, like, Jesus fuck. Right now, it's just a group. The MFTs defeated Phoenix and Nakamura October 24th. So Solo and his crew were heading to the ring for Rey Fenix, for a match with Rey Fenix. Or, sorry. Let me start over. Now, Solo Sikoa and his crew were heading to the ring for what is supposed to be a match between Tala Tonga and Rey Fenix. The Motor City Machine Guns and Nakamura attacked the other members of MFT to help even the odds for the Masked Man. So, Phoenix got the upper hand over his giant opponent, but it only lasted until the big man was able to regain his footing. He propelled Phoenix into the air and slammed him down to stall his momentum. This turned into the exact kind of match you would expect. Tonga using his immense size to dominate the high flyer whenever he got his hands on him. And Phoenix used his speed and agility to stay out of his grasp as much as possible. Tonga was able to get the win with a big choke slam, which made Solo Sikoa happy. They were going to keep attacking, but Sami Zayn came down running with a chair to make the save. Also, Bliss and Flair were also in the medical room where Asuka showed up and blew mist in their face. So that feud's not over, and we're trying to build up the Women's Survivor Series team, which I think I know is there. Ooh, fuck. It was in South Carolina, which I didn't even fucking know. Like again, that was the whole thing for this match, which I was like, where this match at? You know what I mean? But they're not gonna have the Bloodline in the War Games. Let me actually pull up Notepad for you guys to give you an explanation of like how this will work. So you guys can see, or so you guys can really like in depth get fucking what I'm getting at for the men's and the women's. Or what I'm seeing what I'm basically seeing for the men's and women's if you guys can't see. So I'm going to do the men's. And then I'm going to do the women's. Or actually, hold on. Okay. Okay. So, on one team, you're most likely to have, of course, Flair, Bayley, Lyra, Io, and Ripley, right? Because Bliss is probably hurt. Bliss is gonna fucking be out. Like her neck, she's probably gonna be out. They're gonna be taking on Asuka, yeah, I'll probably say Sane. Just Sane, Kairi Sane. Nia Jax, Lash Legend, and Julia, however you spell her fucking name. Like, this is the Survivor Series team. Most likely what we're going to get here. For the men's, though, on the other hand, it looks like we're getting Punk, Knight, say Uso, Knight, Reigns, and somebody else taking on Logan Paul, or yeah, I should say Logan instead of Paul. Logan, Breaker, Reed, and that's we don't know who else. In the coming weeks they'll have to explain who else is going to come up, but so yeah, this is most likely what Survivor Series will look like right now. Who knows if Reigns will join, but I do know that Knight, and like just for the fact that Knight has had matches with Braun Breaker over the past, like, who knows. This looks like the match we're getting. Actually, you could get Cena in there. This looks like an all-right team. Honestly, all of these guys having Cena in that fray. But, again, still a mystery. I would put Cena in that. As for this, This, I have no clue. That I have no clue. But, yeah, the women's looks pretty stacked right here if you look at this. Like, this is what I would do. You know, Flair, Bayley, Lyra, Io, and Ripley. Because remember, Bliss would be in this match, and then I would have replaced, I would have kept Ripley out of it. But this looks like the call for it. I didn't even think of Lash Legend being part of the group of this. I actually was thinking, like, Liv Morgan coming back. But this works. For what it's worth, this works, I guess. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking so far. And I'll keep this stored just so you guys can see. But yeah, for the Survivor Series, I'm thinking, like, that's exactly what it's probably going to be. Anyway, we got on to our main event. And this main event is brought to you by Angry Orchard, which is, of course, the hard cider alcohol. The main event of this week show was the match booked in the opening segment. Aleister Black versus Cody Rhodes, with Zelina Vega accompanying her husband to the ring. Now, I just want to say, Aleister Black's entrance with Zelina is such a darker play on what Karrion Kross was doing. And this is just, I guess this is WWE trying to put Cody Rhodes up against, you know, some sort of darker version of Karrion Kross. But, like, you could have kept Karrion Kross because he was doing work. And fucking, I can't believe you let him go, WWE. I still can't get over that. I will never get over that. But we have to keep moving on. If you watch the feud these two had in AEW, then you know Black holds one match victory over Rhodes in their history. In their first encounter, Black squashed Rhodes in less than 5 minutes. But these two men know each other very well and how to work together to put on a good show. So they didn't try to ease into this. They went from 0 to 60 immediately. More like 0 to 100, honestly. They started making this a hard-fought battle. Unfortunately for Black and Rhodes, this match didn't end clean with a win. No, this ended in no contest because McIntyre came out of nowhere and Claymored the fucking referee. Cody Rhodes then, of course, pounced on fucking McIntyre. But then Aleister Black helped McIntyre. This allowed, of course, Damian Priest to run to the ring and start fighting with Drew and Aleister. And the show ended with Nick Aldis suspending McIntyre indefinitely. So, yeah, the ending of the show kind of fell, giving it a B because of how standoutish it is. And then, of course, we also can't forget that Nick Aldis announced 2 matches for next week's show, for the John Cena tournament, and that is Jey Uso goes 1-on-1 with The Miz. Wah, 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 wah. And then, of course, we have L.A. Knight, going up against, well, a surprise. A surprise. You'll find out all that next week. But how do we end the show and how do we grade the show? Well, Friday's show was a bit of a mixed bag, but it was definitely more good than bad. And that is not something that can be said about every show, so it's a win. Green and Julia was the only match that fell too short, but it was also almost by design. The fact that they had it a dirty finish made the short time a little easier to accept, and having Green now hold 2 belts is going to lead into a lot of fun. The only reason this fell flat, another reason this fell flat is because what are they both? Julia and Green are both heels. I've said it before. You've heard me rant about it. Heel versus heel never fucking works. It doesn't. You need to cheer for somebody. There needs to be a cheer. And they were in a place where they were going to cheer for Julia, and they were in a place where they were going to cheer for Green. More people cheered for Green because of how excited people were for this fucking, for a championship to be on the line. I think that's what saved it. I think it saved it for having a championship on the line. Felt more important. But both are heels. So, of course, it's going to fall flat. Cargill gave such a short promo. Was an interesting choice, but it might be the best route to take for right now. She does not need to talk for a long time about her motivations. So having her give a quick declaration left its mark. Dragunov once again managed to steal the show with his open challenge against Johnny Gargano. His reign has gotten off to a strong start and shows no signs of slowing down. Legend making her appearance and official move to the main roster is great for her in the women's tag team division, especially if she and Jax are going to be looking to chase after those tag team title belts. since we've really got anything to do, we're just going to put them all into a fucking team. We're just going to have fucking Flair team up with Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, and then have Io and Ripley come back to spice things up, especially with there being history between them, between Flair, Io, and of course Ripley. And then we're going to put together Jax, Legend, the Kabuki Warriors, and of course Julia. Most likely, because there's nothing for her to do, and having her be on SmackDown. Be from SmackDown. Unless you want her to be a babyface, drop Kiana James, and fucking go after Jade Cargill. That's another option. But I think she's buried. Rhodes and Black were having a fun match before the rudely interrupted McIntyre came in and tried to, try to ruin wrestling. That's how John Cena would put it. Hopefully, they get to run it back soon. But until then, this show will be graded a B for what it was worth. And I agree. Everything was good. And I thought that this match was probably the best match on the show. With, of course, the Women's United States Championship match being the downfall. But we'll have to wait to see next week and Monday Night Raw. What did you guys think of SmackDown? Let me know in the comments down below. I thought this was great. You know my opinions on it, of course. Jade Cargill looks fucking fresh, and I can't wait to see Cargill more and more when she goes up against the baby faces or whoever's in that locker room willing to challenge her for that title. Or when Tiffany Stratton's knee heals up. And whatever breakup rumors are going around about her and Ludwig Kaiser. Who cares? Alright? Butt out of people's fucking personal lives, honestly. But until next time, until of course tomorrow, or not tomorrow, no. Until Tuesday, I will see you guys when I see you guys. Also, Lewis will be here on Monday to give you what went down on Football Sunday.